I don't know about y'all, but like I'm at a weird place with the MCU where like, Phase 4 started and I was just like, yo, this shit is some ass. Like that ass I thought Phase 4 was some bullshit. But then, as time was going by, I forget what content I watched. I think it was Guardians 3, where I was just like, yo, like Guardians 3 low key isn't even a bad quality movie, you know what I mean? And I actually kind of fuck with the Guardians, but for whatever reason, it didn't really give me that magic, that same feeling of just like, yo, like I'm fucking hyped for this shit. And I don't think it's that superhero fatigue people are talking about. Like I really don't think it is, because like I'm hyped for like, I'm hyped for Invincible that's coming out, and that superhero shit. Like I was kind of actually excited for Secret Invasion, when that came out too, when that was coming out too, just because like, like superhero shit is still exciting to me. When I saw that, the Flash movie was gonna be Flashpoint, I was excited. Granted, the other things I saw in there, I was just like, okay, I'm not really about it. I'm not gonna lie, Ezra Miller as like the Flash cast kind of throws me off, just like from a visual perspective. Like even him in Justice League was just a little jarring to me. I don't know, like it didn't really feel like a take of the Flash that like I really vibed with. To this day, my favorite depiction of the Flash is probably him in Justice League Unlimited or Young Justice. And I'd pick Grant Gustin over Ezra Miller for sure. But yeah, no, like I just don't like that take. But this video is not even about the Flash. The point is, I don't think superhero fatigue is necessarily what got me. Not to say that it's not real, but it's definitely, that's not, the illness that I got. I think really what it is my time as a fan of the MCU, and I don't mean like as a fan, because I love Marvel and I love superheroes and that'll forever be a part of me. But I think my time of being, not a casual in the MCU is over. And I don't think it's necessarily their fault. I grew up, with RDJ as my Iron Man, Hugh Jackman as my Wolverine, you know what I mean? And it was actually really hard to see them go. Watching Logan, I know he came back, or he's coming back for Deadpool 3, which I have mixed feelings about. It's not all bad, it's not all good. But like, watching Logan was tough for me. Like it actually made me realize like, yo, like these actors are getting old, and like you look in the rearview mirror and you're like, holy shit, like has it really been 10 years? Has it really been 15 years? Like has it really been that long? Watching Logan, like seeing him like have that kind of like goodbye, arc, like really hit home for me. I'm not even gonna lie, like Endgame, like I mean, I'm gonna say spoiler, but at this point, like you really gotta lock in if you haven't watched it. But like watching Tony go in Endgame was actually really marking to me. I think it really made me realize how much of my life was affected by Iron Man. Like I went to university, for engineering because Iron Man was that cool to me. Like that's the level to which those movies and like affected me. And to see him die, I was actually, bro, it wasn't as severe, but I deadass felt like, yo, I'm just mourning like the loss of somebody like I actually like loved, you know what I mean? Iron Man going really, really did affect me like on a deep level. And so now that leaves a huge hole. And after I watched Endgame, that's when I started collecting comics. Cause I was just like, yo, like I actually really fuck with this character. Like I really, I deeply like Iron Man. I need more content, almost as like a coping mechanism. And then I got into like collecting Iron Man comics. And then from there, I transitioned over to, being more of a Doctor Strange fan. He was gonna be my new guy in the MCU. I collected Doctor Strange comics. And then, now he was my new Iron Man. And I think, the realization that I came to is it's not the same. Like as much as like I like Doctor Strange and I like all the characters that I'm left with, they are just not Tony, Cap, Widow, fucking Clint Barton, Thor. Like they're just not the guys. And what makes this interesting though, like this realization, I think as a fan of where we were at before, internally, like I almost feel inclined to point out the faults in the new characters that are out, almost as a way to validate my feelings, validate the fact that like I miss the characters that we used to have. And I recognize that that's not right, which is why I definitely, let me just get that out the way. I definitely don't go online, shitting on, new Marvel movies just because I want the old shit back. Like that's definitely not how I move, and I don't think that's the right way to go about it. But I do think acknowledging that inclination is important for this conversation. But yeah, no, like I feel like I would try to find ways to validate my emotions by finding the faults in the newer superheroes. And I don't think I can say that they're objectively worse or objectively better. I think honestly I'm just way too emotionally attached to the conversation to truly find out like, you know, an objective or as close to an objective answer that we have. I can't really say that the characters we have right now are objectively lower quality. But what I also find interesting is like if you're Marvel, like what do you do? What do you do with a fan like me? I'm a huge advocate for ending things at the right time. I don't believe in, you know, running things into the ground. I think that that's a lame way to go out. And so I'm so grateful that, you know, RDJ, you know, Scarlett Johansson and Chris Evans, like we're all able to kind of bow out when they felt the time was right. It would have been such a shame if the world had to tell them to go as opposed to them choosing to go. I think, you know, that whole, you know, always leave them wanting more thing, like I really do believe in that. And I think that that's what they gave us. You know what I'm saying? Like I wish I had more time with Iron Man. I wish I got more time with Widow, which by the way, to this day, I actually don't even know why the consensus is that Black Widow is a bad movie. I fucking love that movie. It is literally in my top 10 Marvel movie for sure. I really do think it should have come out earlier. I think it's a shame that, you know, they only dropped it after she canonically died. And I also do think, like, you know, the way the story ended between Scarlett Johansson and Disney, you know, unfortunate. But that's not even that. Like, this is a wild ass tangent. But anyway, yeah, no, I'm a huge believer in ending things well and not waiting until like the money's no longer good to do so. And so that I respect the fact that, you know, they were able to kill off these characters when everybody wanted them to stay around. Like, I don't think, at least for me, I did not go into Infinity War thinking that, you know, Tony wasn't going to make it out, you know, Natasha wasn't going to make it out, any of that. But I think what's also, well, I guess like the crux of what I'm saying here, what I'm trying to get at is from like a producer's perspective. So from like Marvel's perspective, I find that, like, you know, what do you do with a fan like me? In a lot of the spaces I occupy, whether it's gaming, whether it's anime, superheroes, comic books, whatever, there's a common conversation about, you know, developers and producers and studios not respecting the old fans and overvaluing, you know, making new fans and getting new eyes on, you know, projects. And I wrote the fence more so, like, I honestly, like, a lot of times it was a little frustrating, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are some examples? I was never mad at modern controls in Street Fighter, but perhaps, like, I mean, easy example, I guess One Piece, like, you know, with the One Piece live action, that one is, like, live actions, I've realized are more so to get new fans to watch the content. Not that I wish it didn't come out, but I guess if I'm being 100% transparent, like, I do think part of me does feel slighted. Resources are being allocated towards, you know, getting getting new fans this live action, where I feel like, oh, this would have been really dope to put those resources elsewhere to make, you know, the One Piece anime or the One Piece manga that much better. And I was, again, what I'm feeling is not necessarily who I am online. Like, I definitely am not the person that's, you know, in comment sections talking about, you know, fuck this movie should never come out. Right now, I'm just letting you know, like, everything that's going on internally. But now I'm understanding, like, you know, with the MCU, where, like, I kind of just, like, I've been trying to beat my head against the wall and trying to, you know, recreate the magic that I had during the Infinity War saga. But I'm realizing that it's most likely gone. I'm still a fan, and I still, you know, love Marvel and love, you know, Marvel superheroes, and I love Spider-Man, and I love, you know, everything that's going on. But I think the facts of the matter is, with the MCU, it's kind of just over for me. And that's when I started to sympathize with, you know, producers, people who make content gearing it towards newer fans, because I know for a fact that, like, if I was Marvel and I knew the headspace that, you know, the old fans were at, you're really just fighting a losing battle trying to make content for them at this point. You know, all the characters that I've loved are gone. Everything is going to naturally come in second place. Nothing is ever going to be the magic of, you know, the briefcase scene in Iron Man 2, as garbage as that movie is. Nothing is ever going to be I have an army, we have a Hulk type, excitement. That Infinity War saga, it's almost like a once in a lifetime moment. I think really actually more so like a once in a generation type. Yeah, like it's just one of those moments, and I think you're fighting a losing battle. Like you're always going to be one step behind. I definitely think I'm always going to be a fan. I'm always going to love Marvel. I think this is more so like, just to maybe help other people understand what they're feeling, if they're feeling the same things as me. If I'm Marvel, like I mean, actually just being a fan of Marvel and being so grateful for what they gave me with the Infinity War saga, I do recognize that, I think their efforts are better used making another kid's childhood as fucking awesome as mine was. And I'm so excited to just like leave space for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think like, I'm gonna keep watching casually. I don't think I'm gonna be, like up to date all the time. But I guess like the purpose of this video is really just to let, anybody that was ever involved in any of those projects to know just how like, how fucking insane that era of my life was, and how grateful I am to have been, there along for the ride, from 2008 to whenever the fuck, Endgame came out. It was truly great. Not to say that anything that comes after won't be, but it's more so like it won't be in the Infinity War saga for me. It literally can't. And that's just a testament to how special they made that experience for me. And yeah, no, this was honestly just like my love letter to all those actors that like, I just, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's to the point where like, I envision Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. Scarlett Johansson to me is Black Widow. Like, those faces are so ingrained. Like, it's just phenomenal. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier. Like, I don't know. I really think like we're coming at the end of a certain era of superhero movies. To be honest, like this video is a little too late. I think we've already kind of, come to that end, especially when Logan came out, and that was also when Infinity War came out. But I think now I think I'm truly starting to finish my period of mourning, as late as that is, for the characters that I'm recognizing that I have either lost or I am losing. And so now I do think it's appropriate to just thank them for their service. You know what I'm saying? Like even the movies that didn't necessarily do very well, or the movies that I didn't necessarily like I really want to acknowledge the effort that was put in. Yeah, I am truly grateful to everybody involved for how special they made my childhood. And I'm super excited and hopeful that the kids to come get to experience something special on that level, because there's truly nothing else like it.